Hello world. How you guys doing? Welcome, guys, to the Real Entrepreneur TV series. Guys, listen, we are on season 2. It's behind me. You guys saw it before we actually came into the room, but I have the great opportunity to be interviewing one of the contestants. Listen, all of them my favorite, but this one specifically is my favorite. Yes, I am biased. Why? Because from this show, she is now my personal assistant. So I'm excited to be able to interview her so she can kind of, you know, tell her piece, tell her side, right? So, guys, please help me welcome to the stage Miss Randy Williams.
Yay!
Hello, Randy. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing good, Dr. Pitts.
That's good. That's good. Listen, let me see if we can move this and see what this does for us. Okay. Probably not what I wanted to do. See how this looks. Nah, we'll just keep it here. Okay. So Randy, listen, before we dive into it, just tell everybody a little bit about who you are and what do you do as an entrepreneur.
Okay, so I am, how can I say this? Well, I'm a child of God first and foremost because people have that misconstrued. And if you don't know, now you know. I'm a mom, so my kids is a lot. They're the big reason behind a lot of the things that I do. Um, as an entrepreneur, I'm more in the social sector. So, how I started my entrepreneur story is similar to Dr. Pitts. I don't know if people know that about us or not, but I started working at 7, cutting grass, shoveling snow, taking out trash, babysitting people younger than me. Yes, I was a babysitter at 7. Um, I come from a family of entrepreneurs. My granddaddy did hair. My uncle was an artist for liquor stores around the city. My cousins ran beauty shops. Um, of course, there was some street pharmaceuticals in the business. But that's neither here nor there. But business aspect wise, I've learned a lot from my family in my early years, watching them. And so in my teenage years, by high school, I was doing hair to make money to pay for school clothes and school supplies, whatever. By the time I graduated high school, I went and got my cosmetology degree. And for the first 15 years, I did customer service and jobs and hair. And I learned a lot from my first business mentor. Shout out to Miss Pat. She was on the show Cutting It Up in ATL. I learned a lot from her. She had 17 salons in Atlanta. I managed one of them, her Lovejoy location. And from there, I opened up my own shop and started the journey. Then I shut it down after being in business for 2 years. I started experiencing a lot of commercial racism. I know people don't talk about that, but this the real entrepreneur show, and you say keep it real. So I shut it down and I took my butt to law school so I can get educated. And from there, we have where I am now, which is a social entrepreneur, meaning the experiences, the knowledge I've gained from my job experiences, from my work experiences, from life experience, I now try to teach and pour into other businesses so that they can grow and elevate way faster and way further than I did or I am. That's my dream. I want to see businesses just get big, like stupid.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, listen, Randy, I appreciate you just allowing people. Look, we got viewers are coming in, allowing our people to just know who you are and what you stand for in this space, right? Which leads me to the great segue. Randy was one of the a casting. She was part of casting in Atlanta, Georgia,
Yes.
and she was actually selected. So she didn't come by way of, getting in because somebody couldn't make it. Right? She was actually one of the contestants that, um, you know, our board, so to speak, said, yeah, she would be a great fit for the show. And let me give you guys a little bit of what we look for from a casting perspective. Um, and it's crazy how people don't understand or know this, but I pay attention to these things, right? Number one, Randi was the first one there. Okay.
And
Um, Randi sat there, right, for about 30 to 45 minutes before we actually got started and got set up. Mind you, the location that we had the casting at, it wasn't a favorable place, right? It was kind of tricky to get there. But what I paid attention to is Brandy's, she didn't have an attitude that she had to wait, right? Nor did she complain about waiting, right? Most people say they'll jokingly, and that's what I tell people sometimes when people joke, know that there is some truth in that joke. But Randi didn't jokingly say, "Oh yeah, I've been sitting waiting here for 45 minutes." Like she didn't, it wasn't no, so I paid attention to the posture of Randi. So as we were looking through when the casting was finished editing and it was put out, when her scene came up, I said, you know what? This one right here has to be on the show. Let me give you my reasoning why. Right. And so I just wanted you guys to know that that was one of the main reasons why Randi got picked, is because that is the tenacity, that is the attitude that an entrepreneur should carry, right? She went into mode of, hey, I understand that stuff happened. She just sat herself there in the little corner, didn't bother nobody, didn't say nothing to nobody. She smiled. She had a great attitude. And it was like, and when it was time for her to go up and go, she went up. Like she didn't allow it to frustrate her. It didn't come out. So that was one of the reasons why Randi was picked for this particular show. So Randi, in that moment of you casting, kind of just give the viewers a little bit of your perspective of why did you even apply, right? Why did you say, hey, I want to go to this casting. I want to see what this is about. I want to, hey, if it happens, great. If not, no problem. At least I can say, hey, I applied, right? So what was your thought process when you saw the casting, and where did you see it from? How did you know about it? Like, give us the scope of how you even got to this place.
Okay, so first, let me just say God is good. Okay. I was not in the best headspace. You know how, as just a person in life, we go through our transitional periods. I was going through a transitional life period, and I came across an email for the casting call. And this is why I say reading is fundamental, because it say casting call all day. Why? I thought that thing said networking. So I'm thinking this whole time I'm going to a networking event, and I get there and they're like, okay, do this, do this. And I'm just like, okay, I'm going along with the flow. Cause like you said, I'm here. It's about the experience. It's about connecting with people. It's about learning. This is my mindset going in. And so it wasn't until I think Ebony did her part of the audition. And I was like, wait, this is an audition for a TV show? Like in real life? So then the reality of what Jamie kept saying, y'all, are y'all really aware of who's in front of y'all? Are y'all aware of what's happening in this moment? So the reality of what she was saying was kicking in as she was saying it for the third time. And I'm like, oh shoot, let me do some research right now and assess the room. Like, let's see who's actually here in front of me. And when I Googled you, Dr. Pitts, and then you came in with the magazine, I was like, see, let me just throw that out there for y'all who has not seen Dr. Pitts in real life. First of all, he stay fly, okay, and he smell good. So I've already noticed he walked in wearing this plaid suit, and I'm like, dang, I like his shoes. Like, them some sharp shoes. And he had the bag, and I was like, okay, he fine. Like, I like the way he dressed. And so when he was passing out the magazines, I'm flipping through, I'm looking, and I'm like, yeah, I really need to be like Jamie said and pay attention to this room. And so when I started analyzing everybody that was present, there was a moment I sat there. Honestly, I sat there and I said, I don't deserve to be here.
Mm,
Honestly, I was like, there are so many great people here right now. Look at where I am. I don't deserve to be here. And the moment I said that, I heard a voice that said, that's exactly why you're here. Because if you didn't deserve to be here, you would not be in this room. But how many rooms have I put you in where you felt like you didn't deserve to be there, yet you were the only person, sometimes the only female of color in that room?
mhm,
You deserve to be here. Look at all the other times it happened. So I was like, okay. So then I looked at you, Dr. Pitts, and I said, I don't know how. I don't know why, but me and you are going to work together. And
mhm.
here we are.
Yeah. Yeah. You spoke that into existence. So no, I'm glad that you were definitely selected. And then let's talk about now day one, right? When you got there to the house, this was kind of where you guys got the opportunity to, get to mingle with one another, know one another. And I'm gonna share something in the end, guys, that totally this was the reason why I knew that Randi was supposed to be a part of my circle. And I'm going to share that reasoning why. Right? Besides her skill set. Okay. So let's not discredit that either, because that's the top of the priority. Right. But let's talk a little bit to them about day one, Randi. You got there. I think you were, I don't know what, no, I think you was maybe the second or third person at the
I
house
was
as well, too.
yes.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about, once you got there to the home, the thought process, where was your mind at that point? What was the level of expectation? So tell the viewers what kind of felt and looked like.
Okay, so on the way there, y'all go. I was so nervous. My stomach had butterflies. I had the bubble guts. It was a hot mess. I was sweating. I was just like, I shouldn't go. I shouldn't go. And then my kids were like, but mama, you worked this hard to get on the show. You might as well go. What's the worst that can happen? And I was like, you're right. And they was like, just don't embarrass us. And I was like, I'll try. So when I got to the house, we pull up and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. I'm about to be amongst strangers. I have no idea. Immediately, I went into prayer. I'm not even going to hold you because when I get scared, I pray. And so I prayed. I walked into the house. I met Quintus. When I met Quintus, Quintus opened the Lord, forgive me. Quintus opened the door looking like the pastor lady she is. Okay. She was just bright, happy. You know how like they meet you when you coming in the church door? That's how Quintus was when I was coming in the house. And so she was like, I'm Quintus. I was like, I'm Randi. We instantly hugged. She was like, let's go pray. Did you select your room? Come on, let's look around. So she gave me a house tour. And then I kind of got confused because I'm like, okay, her name is Quintus. And I know if she's a contestant, how is she already at the house? I thought I was the first person here. So I was confused on that. So anyhow, we end up choosing our rooms. Um, and the first thing we did, I don't know if anybody know this, but the first thing we did was we respectively went into our rooms after we chose them, and then we prayed over our rooms, and then we met back in the hallway, and then took a tour of the house. Um, so that was my first kind of moment in the house with her. Then, as everybody else got in, we introduced ourselves, and it kind of was the same thing except Roy. Here's what people don't know. Roy was talking junk in the group chat. And so when I met Roy the first day in the house, I was like, hey, you Roy? He was, yeah. I was like, so you was the one talking to the crap in the group chat? And he was like, yes. Yeah. So all the comments you see me making towards him on the episodes are me addressing him talking junk, saying men rule and girls basically don't, in the group chat. And I told him the first day I'm gonna give it to you, but after that, leave me alone. So it's brotherly love and sisterly love. Unfortunately, it's not shown throughout the show because I was eliminated, but it's definitely there and still there to this day. I love me some Roy.
Absolutely, absolutely. And guys, that the first night, I know you guys listen. I want you guys to really understand, like, and it can only come from a place when you decide to be a producer in your own show, when you will really understand that you wish that you could just let the footage just roll, right? But when you're dealing with networks, brand name networks like Roku TV, Fire TV, Apple TV, there are certain things that you have to kind of like abide by and go through and stuff like that, right? I said all that to say, guys, there was a lot of footage that there's going to be a lot of footage that none of you guys will ever see. That is the reason for this show, is for those moments to be for them, right? And when I say them, the contestants, all 10 contestants that you're going to see me interview, right? Those moments that the audience and the viewers that you don't see, those moments were for them, right? But there were a lot of moments where there was a lot of laughter on day one. Everybody got the opportunity to really just enjoy themselves. You would have thought that some people in the home knew each other for years, right?
Yeah.
Everybody merged together so fast, and that goes to show you what this show does to these 10 strangers that really don't know each other, right? Not knowing, like, wait a minute, you stay in Texas, wait a minute, you stay in Atlanta, so it's, you never know who you're in the room with. That statement is extremely true, right? So Randy, take us to um you gravitated towards Ebony real fast. Um
Yeah.
Especially when you guys, were at the table and we were playing the game. Guys, listen, we played that card game for about 2 hours,
It was
right?
like 3 hours.
Yeah. That could have been a whole episode by itself, right? But
Yes.
because you viewers wouldn't want to sit there for no 3 hours watching that, we had to, do our cut ups accordingly. But talk to us a little bit about, your relationship with not just Ebony, but some of the other contestants in
Okay.
the show, how you kind of like gravitated towards them, really quickly. Just let everybody know what that looked like from your end.
Okay, so with Ebony, it was at the audition. I met her at the audition. She was this big, bubbly personality. And the first thing I thought was, dang, she reminds me of my daughter. Right? They're so outgoing. They're so bold with this big personality. And I just loved it. Like I just loved it. I loved everything about what Ebony was bringing. And I told her that. I was like, "Girl, you just black girl magic. I love it. I love everything you got going on." And she was like, "You don't think it's too much?" I said, "Girl, give us more." Give it to us. Yes, I love it. And so we were talking, and she was like, "Oh, I'm from Detroit," and I was like, "Me too." And then she was telling me she lived in Atlanta, and I was like, "Me too." And so us having that background, we took pictures at audition, and I was like, "Girl, don't tell me that if we get selected for this show, you're gonna be my new BFF." And she was like, "Why wait till the show? We can talk up until then." And we did. So even before filming the show, Ebony and I were keeping in contact. And when she went to the awards and she won, I was posting and sharing her stuff on my social media because I was proud. And I was like, even if I don't get chose, I'm still voting for you. And when we were on the show, I was like, Ebony, I know I'm on the show, but I'm still voting for you. Like, you got my vote. Like, I support you. I support Ebony because I genuinely love her personality. I love everything about her. I love how hard she hustled. I also love the fact that she's a young mother with a new husband and he support her so well. And because of that itself, it's like I just want to support that. I want to support everything that's supporting her. That's how I feel. Then with Cappy, she's sweet. I didn't really get a chance to cultivate a relationship with her like I would have wanted to, because Cappy mostly stayed to her room, and I get it. Spiritual people stay to themselves a lot, so I understood that without it having to be stated, but Cappy is also very strategic, so I don't know, because she was my competitor, but at the end of the day, I like Cappy. I think Cappy is a very beautiful woman who has a very beautiful spirit about her. What drew me to Tiffany was her heart. I think Tiffany has a very genuine big heart. I saw that on her, but I also saw some things too that she was wrestling with, and we talked about that, personally. And at the end of the day, I will say, when it comes to her, she's like my little sis, in a sense. Like, you know how little sisters are. It's your little
Yeah.
sister. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It depends on the age gap, depend on the relationship of closeness, but it's still your sister. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and then with Effie, how I ended up gravitating with Effie was she was having a personal crisis that I could identify with. And I just don't nobody like to be played in their face. And I just don't like bullies. And I felt like in that moment somebody was bullying her. And it was just like, who did it? Let's roll up. Just make sure we back here for filming in the morning. But we finna go get them. Like, but and from that we cultivated our relationship. I love Effie. Effie is a very strong minded female. But I also see Effie as a transitional Effie, if that makes sense. She's like, there's the Effie that was probably known before this show, and then there was Effie merged during and after the show. She's bolder, she's more confident, she's taking more chances. I love that for her. But then
Yeah.
it's like there's this battle with her too, where she kind of doubt herself sometimes, and I don't like that for her. And it's like, no, baby, keep going. You got this. Like, bump what anybody say, bump how anybody feel about it. You got it. Make you proud. With Mario, how can I say this? Mario is like that cool big brother that he's so older than y'all. He just be at the house sometimes. He comes to the family stuff. Y'all kick it and have a beer together because he let you drink since he the older brother. You sneak it and then he out. That's Mario to me. I love him. He's just a cool vibe. His wife, I met her while I was in Houston. She's a beautiful person. His daughter turned out to be one of my fans, but she's from Detroit here too. She's awesome. He has an awesome family. And I see why he's so rooted in family, because he has cultivated an awesome one for himself. So I love that about him. And then I already gave my spill on Roy. I will add this. I didn't know he can move like that. Yeah, he can dance. Found out in Houston. And then Quintus is a comedian. I keep telling her she needs to do stand up because preaching may be her calling, but maybe she can be a preaching comedian. I don't know if that's a thing. Maybe, but she should look into it because she is hilarious. I love Quintus. I love her. Like, Quintus make your face and stomach hurt. Yeah. That's everybody, isn't it? I think.
K. Shari.
Oh, shoot, my brother from another mother. My bad. My bad, bro. Do not beat me. Okay, K. Shari. How could I forget about him? So K. Shari was my spiritual coach. I know everybody say that, but there were times where I guess he felt like something in the spirit needed to tell me something, and so he did. And then there were times where my spirit told him stuff, and we did. And then there were times where we just didn't know what was going on with K Shari, but to just let him be K Shari. he just he just do his thing, and we just let him do it. And that's how it is. But I love K Shari's aura, his patience, his temperament. He's a very humble person. Which could be a dangerous thing, because when people walk with that much humility, it's like, don't upset them, because you don't know what you're gonna get. You know what I mean? So that's K Shari for me. I think that's everybody. So I'm done.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Randy, and guys, listen, make sure that you guys like, share, and love, and send out the mess, send out this particular recording to everybody, guys. Do me a favor, Randy, and just kind of go into the first challenge, right? The first
Yeah.
challenge, I believe, was the podcast challenge, right?
Yes.
Walk everybody through the thought process, where your mind was at, what you were looking to, what did you feel that you did wrong, what did you feel that you did right, and most importantly, well, we're not going to even add that in. I want you to just, let's stay there first, then the next thing we'll add in as far as for your feelings towards that. But let's talk a little bit about the challenge itself.
Okay.
How you felt about the challenge. Did you feel that you did good? Did you feel that you did bad? Just give us your feedback on that.
Okay, so the podcast challenge I was excited about, because I always wanted to do a podcast and I never like kind of knew which way to go about it. There's a lot of different ways you can do a podcast. But the best way is to start it. So figured that out. But so going into the challenge, I was pretty confident. I was like, okay, this is like YouTube, I guess. Except you're gonna be talking with the other people. But what threw me off was, okay, Dr. Pitts. You remember when you came in there, you was like, hey y'all, don't look at the judges. Don't make eye contact. And I'm like, how am I supposed to not make eye contact with people sitting right in front of my face? That's gonna be like weird. So then I was like, okay, well, let me just re-strategize. But then as I was doing that, I got thrown off because Roy, who had the opportunity to pick the contestants, my job, I was talking junk the first day. So he chose me to go second when he had the opportunity to choose everybody. And he started laughing because he knew what he was doing. He saw me preparing. So he was like, ready, you next. Ha 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 ha. So when I went in, I was like a little mentally thrown off from those two things. And then I was like, okay, Randy, get yourself together. So as I was going through my paper, I realized that I didn't want to sound like I was reading anything. I didn't want to sound like, like I wrote this down. I wanted to be more myself. And so then I started thinking, well, let me just pretend like this is my YouTube. But by that time, it was already midway through the challenge. And so when they brought that up, I was like, okay, yeah, I can see where you get that from. Like I'm not even gonna debate against that. That's actual feedback, like you can't get mad about the truth. And then there was some pointers that was given, some what do you call it, constructive critiquing that was given, and I used it for future things and it has paid off. But in that challenge, I guess it did not pay off. It did not work. So that's what happened with the challenge. And how I felt I felt that I gave it the best with what I knew how to give. So I'm not mad at what the outcome was, because I did the best that I could do with what I knew how to do with the information.
Absolutely. And that's a great segue, Randy. Talk to us a little bit about that judging piece, right? What was your feelings in regards to how they judged, right? And guys, what I did, you guys will hear me say this all the time. I changed the narrative from saying constructive criticism, right, to constructive critiquing. My judges know that. Every time my contestants come in, I always reverse engineer the mindset to that. So with their judging and their constructive critiquing that they gave, and then with the elimination, right? How did you feel about that whole corridor? And now, right, that you actually got the opportunity to watch, right, the show. You were a viewer, right? You didn't see everybody's podcast, right? So do you agree with the judges in regards to who they eliminated, which was you? And then do you agree with, who they thought that killed or crushed the podcast show? So just give your feedback on that. Because guys, listen, here's the thing. American Idol, America's Got Talent, right? People don't like Simon Cowell. And we already know that Charlie Ford was the judge that everybody comes after, because she was actually the Simon Cowell of The Real Entrepreneur. And that's something that we did not have in season 1, right? We definitely had it in season 2. So just kind of give us that feedback, Randi, on where your thought process was with the judges.
Now, I'm an honest person, Dr. Pitts. Okay. So now when I got the feedback in the actual room from the judges after I did the podcast, when I got that feedback, it wasn't that bad. It was constructive critiquing, like, on the next challenge, do this, do this. If you're going to do a podcast, make sure you include this. But for overall, like, I felt good about it. I left out of there like, okay, it ain't that bad. This might not be such a bad thing. I feel good about this. But then when it was time for a judgment, and then they brought my picture up, I was like, okay, I could see being in the bottom 3 because they gave, some critiquing. So maybe they're going off the fact that they had to critique you in the first place. That was my thought process. I didn't know how they was judging us. So, but before that even happened, okay, so you said be honest, right? So, okay, so before that even happened, I noticed that 2 of the judges were critiquing me, but it wasn't based off of any performances or challenges that was present. It was just me, like, personally. But I didn't say anything because I'm a professional person. You see stuff and you observe. Okay. You make observation. And so when I was up for the bottom 3, I was like, okay, well, clearly I wouldn't be the one going home, because the way that Quintus was crying, I was just like, I think it might be her, because like she crying so hard, they obviously told her something bad. So it would probably be her. So when it was me, I was shocked. I was just like, are you serious? Who according to whose records? Like, I think y'all miscalculated this, but you know what? It's okay. I'll take the L. That was my attitude. It was just like, I know this is a competitive show. I don't know what they're grading us on, but if it was looks and who killed it and who don't want to stay here and keep killing it because they might just take over, then send her home. If that was the case, then okay. If it was who might have the most personality and we need to get them up out of here real quick, then okay, I get it. But if it was on a professional scale, I feel like, dang, you ain't even give me a chance, did you, before you just shot your shot and shot me down? So that's kind of like my stance. But then I kind of was a little conflicted too, because I don't know how to say this, but to say it, it's like, as a spiritual person, I kind of battle with the whole idea of having somebody judge me in the first place. It's like, who are you to judge anybody? Because what's your business credentials? Do we get to see that? Can we judge too? It's a one-way street. I ain't like it. You said be honest. That was my honest. Okay, that's it. I think I'm done.
No, hey, look, that's exactly what we want, right? That's what we want. So, guys, listen. Randy, we appreciate just the feedback that you gave to all the viewers, and letting us know your side, right, and how you.
Yes.
Um, so, last thing to go into, what has been your learn, right, from the real entrepreneur? How have you grown from this? What are you currently doing now? How has this helped you develop? Has it even helped you develop into this new character of Randy Williams? Have has this show helped you level up in certain areas and looking at life in certain aspects? That's really what I want the viewers and even the people that are looking to probably come onto the show, whether or not you felt that it was worth it to you. So just can you share that aspect of it before we decide to go off?
Yes. If I had to do this over again, I would do it without thinking twice. I would be amongst strangers. I would do everything exactly as I did it before, and I would not change anything about it, not even the elimination. Yes, it has taught me a lot. It has taught me that, one, it showed me areas in myself where I have grown. I didn't know that I was okay with rejection until I was eliminated. It's like some people can't handle rejection. They act a fool. They get rowdy. They get hostile. They disturb peace. You know, I was okay with it because I understood the assignment. The assignment was, you come here to this show, you compete. Somebody has to be eliminated. You don't know who that is. It could be you. Do your best. I did what I could do at my best during the first thing, and it didn't work out the way that I would hope that it did. But at the end of the day, I did exactly what I was supposed to do. I understood the assignment. So um, I grew professionally because I'm working with the great Dr. Fitz. Like, look at you, Dr. Fitz. You know I love me some you. But no, I get to pick Dr. Pitt's brain, and that is a complicated brain. And it's beautiful in all its complexity. And it's similar to mine, but not really. And it's massive, and it's always growing, learning, and then pouring into us so that it can educate us. And I'm just a sponge here to soak it all up. And hopefully return a favor and share it and do the same, because I'm sharper than but I really appreciate you for starting this show and having the to do it, because so much have come from it. I've met my fiance. Yes, we ain't gonna talk about that. We'll just leave that there. But I've met my fiance from the show. I've met my beautiful sisters, my new brothers. We are like our own little family. As far as business, yes, I've grown. Dr. Pitts, first of all, watching you makes me tired. And then I figured out, between you and Ebony, I need to reshape my life. So about 2 weeks ago, while I was in Houston, I decided I was going to be more like you two. And I started doing that, so much so that that's what started me going ahead and getting the plan done for the women's conference that, yay, will be here May of 2025. I just finished my first ebook, part one of it anyway. That's soon to be dropping soon. And I'm still working on my real estate license. That's not going as fast as I wanted, but you know what? I'm in there. I started, and by before this year, it'll be done. So there's a lot of things that has been taken off for me in a good way. But I think the biggest takeaway that I've gotten from the show is, one, to never stop believing in yourself. Two, if you can think it, you really can achieve it. You just have to put in the work. stay dedicated and be consistent. Most importantly, focus, like Dr. Pitt say, follow until one thing is completed or something like that. Like, don't quote me. Listen, I know I messed that up. Wait, follow one course until completed. Successful. Successful.
Successful. There you
Yes.
go.
Yes.
Successful. There
See,
you go.
there we go. So I've been making myself stay more focused. And I've also been very intentional with being present in my family life because time waits for nobody, and we can get so wrapped up into pouring into our businesses and other things and community projects that we don't focus our attention on the people who need us most, which is our family, the people in our house. So I've been intentional on making sure that I'm balancing out my relationships all across the board.
Absolutely. That's what it's about. And guys, listen, what I was trying to load Randy's commercial up for some odd reason. It wasn't loaded up, but it's okay. You guys will see it on tonight's episode. That's going to
Yay.
start at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Guys, make sure that you guys are prepared to go watch, like, and share as usual. Randy, you have been such of an inspiration to our viewers today and always to myself. I love to see the growth, right? I love to see the direction that you're going in. And that was one of the things I was going to say at the end, guys, is that Randy and my camera guy, who's he's my mandatory stationary. He's not going anywhere. He's with me for season 1, with me for season 2. He's going to be with me for forever seasons. But
Okay.
he's my spiritual son, Devin Tucker, right? DT. The professionalism that they kept. That was when I knew that Randy was going to be a part of that was like when I was told that after filming was over. Okay, do you know we talking about that goes to show you the poise of my cameraman staying in queue for the days that we had to film and the days that we had to shoot, and his fiance, who is now Randy, having the level of understanding that I know that I'm not going to be able to wrap my arms around him. I know I'm not going to be able to kiss him for 5. Listen, let me tell you something. That right there, that's the kind of person that you want to have on your side. And those are the kind of people I want around me because it keeps that professionalism in perspective, right? Nobody knew. Nobody knew. Not even me. Okay. Not even me. So that right there was like, oh yeah, signed, sealed, delivered, stamped in, clamped in. They're part of the empire, and better not nobody say nothing about them. Period. Right.
Okay.
So that posture was what it was. But Randy, thank you again for the opportunity. I appreciate you tremendously. It was a sad day to see you get eliminated. I didn't expect you to be eliminated on the first. You know, the judges always shock me on the when they would eliminate the first person. I'd be like, oh, okay. Because I have no say so in it, right?
Yeah.
Listen, guys, Randy will be a part of the team, the production team for season 3 and the seasons to go forward. So just be prepared that face that you see now is not the last face, because if you see me, you will see her, right? So any last words you want to give to anybody or to everybody, Randy, as we get ready to close out?
I want to just encourage future entrepreneurs, stay consistent, stay persistent, stay dedicated. You can do it. When nobody else believes in you, believe in yourself. Pat your own self on the back. Don't wait for others to do it for you. And as far as me and Dr. Pitts, we together now. I ain't going nowhere. Y'all heard it from his own mouth. So my position is filled. Okay. Because I wanted to set the record straight.
Absolutely. Well, Randy, thank you so much. We appreciate you tremendously. You have been a stone for season 2, and I'm glad that this will be something that people can always just go back and rewatch and reference to. So thank you again, Randy. Appreciate you. All right, now.
Bye, Dr. Pitts.
Well, guys, listen. That's what it's about. The Real Entrepreneur season 2. You can only imagine what season 3 is going to look like, where it's going to go, what we're going to do with season 3. I'm just excited within itself. So guys, do me a favor, like, share, and love. Let everybody know, please. Listen, we need to run the viewers up, guys. We've been doing a tremendous job. A little bit of a slow start on our YouTube channel. And I think the reason why is because we've been getting a lot of viewers. A lot of our viewers have actually been on the network themselves. So that is definitely one thing, guys. When I look at the numbers from the network themselves, we're literally blowing those numbers out of the water. So just like we did, YouTube the numbers were going crazy on our YouTube channel. Now the numbers are going crazy on our network. So guys, please, somebody put it in the comment section, www.trendllc.com, and that's TRENLLC.com, trendllc.com. Guys, put it out there, get it out there, let everybody know. Go watch, go binge watch season 1 if you haven't seen it. Binge watch the episodes. We're on episode 7 tonight, so make sure that you guys go watch that. I'm excited for what's about to get ready to take place on tonight. It's unfortunate, but somebody will get eliminated, and guess what? I will be doing I'll be doing a recap. It's going to be a late recap. If I don't do a recap tonight, I will be doing a recap on tomorrow, right? Either or, a recap is coming, okay? I will be doing that recap so you guys can get a little bit of insight on that episode, commentating on that episode and level of expectation, and you guys can chime in and give me your thoughts and what did you think and things of that nature, and I can explain those scenes to you guys in thorough. Why? I'm the producer, right? I wrote the show, I produced the show, I came up with the challenges, right? So it wasn't that I didn't want any help, it's just that, hey, this is just the way things are right now. Hopefully in the future, God is going to send those resources and those people to come in and say, hey, Dr. Pitts, can I write one challenge, right? Or what do you think about this challenge, right? And in that way, we can kind of like converse, right? But that's another topic for another day, another subject. Other than that, guys, thank you guys for tuning in to The Real Entrepreneur Season 2. Make sure that you go watch it tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, episode 7. Excited about that, guys. Golly, 7 weeks already. We've been, guys, God is good. God is good. And, some of the things that just took place today through trials and tribulation, God still shows who he is and what he's about and what he does. So, guys, listen, do me a favor again. Love, like, and share. Tell everybody about the show. Do me a favor. Everybody that is watching, we had 260 viewers at one point. I get it. People got lives. You guys got things to do. But the 7 that are on here, if you guys can share that www.trendllc.com to 10 people, that means 70 people will have access. 70 new people will have access to go and watch this TV show, The Real Entrepreneur, for season 2, episode 7 on tonight. You guys already know my quote. Coming together is the beginning. Sticking together is progress. But working together is success. My name is Dr. Casual Pitts, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next time. Peace.